Hello there YouTube, welcome to our Carboot haul and Toy Fair haul video. We're going to start with the Toy Haul stuff and then we'll move on to Carboot stuff and the other Carboot stuff over there. Fair warning, the cat is very excitable today and will likely get in the way multiple times, but such is life. So, Toy Fair, found this nice vintage Queen Alien boxed for 20 quid. And this beautiful Matchbox Carnivores Venom Spitter for 15 quid. Much love to Jurassic Coast Collectibles for that one. Found these two decent sized, chunky, solid built buildings. Obviously for some large scale model railway. These are solid. They were £12.99 and so we did £25 for the pair. Found this little wooden one with some nice doors to it. That one was 3 quid. This one, which has clearly been printed on a 3D printer, needs a paint. It does have a chimney, which is in the middle, and the top comes off so that you can actually mess around with it. That is just ideal for Dungeons and Dragons. That's not me repurposing it like these vintage railway things. That is D&D. He also had this one, which it falls all the pieces, but again, perfect for D&D. And he had this little thing as well. This one was 3 quid. This one didn't have a price, so we said 3 quid. This one was 2 quid. Whoops. So then we were on 8. Then he had this, which I just wanted to make up the 10. I thought, you know, he was so nice, so I just bought this. Hi, Binks. You want to feature in the video too, do you? Okay, come on then. Yeah, sit on my lap. That's a good girl. The fella he was sharing his stall with also had these. Now, these are all miniature graveyards and gravestones, so that is just perfect for my purposes. He also had these. These are like hedges, bushes or something. That was only 2 quid, so we had that. Binksy. This sparks a memory for me. Now, I don't know if it's a Kinder Egg toy or if it come in one of those Fruafaux things. Oops. It's not shoe, people. I'm fairly confident of that. But it sparked a memory. It was a quid. This fella had a big box full of Kinder Eggs toys that were a quid each, but we had that one. This is going to get destroyed before it ever makes it onto the table. I also bought these. These are nice little barrels. Just nice little bit of scenery for £1.50. Bought this, which is obviously for trains, but, you know, I'm going to have a table with this on and these little buildings, and it'll seem like a whole little village. That was a £5. I bought some trees for 3 quid. These are surprisingly expensive on some stalls and surprisingly inexpensive on others. And then this big bunch of trees and bushes. This one's nice because it's got flowers in, which will be very helpful for mine. He was 2, he was 3, he was 5, so it was a tenner there. And then I spent a £5 on this dude. I think he might be like Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid or something. But I paid a £5 for him and his foot instantly fell off. I didn't even walk away from the table and the bloke was like, oh, forgot the tray, his foot's loose. But yeah, it's mine now, I guess. I think one of those went, not this exact one, but we had another one a few weeks ago that moved on some way for something worthwhile. So we'll try the same with that one. So all in all, Toy Fair, we spent like 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, 79, 10, 89 plus 5. We spent about, it was under 100 quid. Just under 100 quid, which does sound like a lot of money now I've put it all in front of me like this, but then I realised, you know, you've got 35 and 2 things there and 25 there, so the rest wasn't all that expensive really. But anyway, mostly Dungeons and Dragons stuff, couple of vintage collectibles that will look nice on the shelf in the toy room if it ever gets sorted. And then we move on to the car boot. So, found this right at the end, really chuffed for this. This bloke had some Warhammer stuff, but it was all like pieces, unpainted, couldn't make a figure out of it, mostly 40k stuff, but he had this beautiful painted diorama. He wanted a tenner for it, so I went, yeah, that's incredible, I will certainly make good use of that. This little sword was £1. This funky sword was 50p. I love this one. I think this will be amazing for D&D with all the skulls and faces on him and whatnot. This, which I'm guessing is like Thor's. This was £1. I guess it makes a sound, but I'm going to have to put some batteries in it. This one, which is obviously some very cheap, like Halloween tatty toy, he was 50p. This thing here, which makes a noise that the cat likes, this was 50p as well. Yeah, just stretch yourself with that, little Binks, while we do the rest. And then this is the rest of the car boot stuff. Now, this seems like a lot, but we actually spent like next to no money on all of this. So bought these 3 action figures, 50p each. This obviously some Poundland bootleg, some sort of corpse. I think this is a Hasbro G.I. Joe. Saw this SPD pistol. Asked the bloke how much. He said all the toys, 50p each, 3 for £1. Picked up this. Didn't realise it was a bit battered until I got home. And a little Lego minifigure. So I had those 3 for £1. And then he just chucked that in the pile as well. I don't really want this, mate. I don't know what this is, but he was so nice. I couldn't be like, no, keep your tat. This little pile here all came from one person. Found this in a 50p box. I think this might be from Rambo. And he also had a Micro Machine in a 50p box. Then he had a few 20p things. Just like this look of this toy car. Jurassic World dinosaur. Don't know what this is from. Cars or planes or something like that. Some weird looking zombie thing. Some weird Minecrafty thing. My Pet Alien little figurine. Some old Lesney sort of tank truck thing. Some modern car. Another funky looking Matchbox toy car. And this weird looking fella here. So with the 2 £1 and the rest at 20p, it came up to 3.20. The bloke was like, just give me £3. So I was like, all right. And as I went to pay, I said, oh, how much are your teddy bears? Is that the Grand Pier and Western Supermare? He was like, yeah. So I went, all right, I'll have that too. So I went to get the money out, and I gave him some money, and he was like, no, just call it £3. And I was like, yeah, but the teddy. And he was like, yeah, £3 including the teddy. So I was like, all right, mate, whatever you say. Bought this. Can't remember if this was 50p or £1, but it's some nice little Ganesh statue thing. Then this whole bundle here, there was someone who looked like they were one of those resellers where you're going to walk over and be like, how much are your dinosaurs, mate? And they go, £2 each or 3 for £5. And you go, oh, fuck. No, I'm not bothering with that. But actually, turned out to be pretty cheap. So how much your dinosaurs, love? Seeing there's a couple of Jurassic World ones in there. She went, oh, 50p each, or I don't know, 5 for £1. So I was like, 5 for £1, 20p each. Yeah, all right, love, we'll fill our boots. So we pulled out this Jurassic World flying beastie, and we pulled out this one. I don't know how many of these I must have now. But when they're 20p each, I'm going to keep picking them up. So he was 20p. That one's Jurassic World as well. This one, he just looked cool. I didn't even get round the check-in to see if there was anything written on him to say where he was from. Ow, Binks, leave me be, please. Yeah, I don't know what he's from. I can't see if it says ELC or Papa or anything on there, but we had him as well. This one, which unfortunately is not Imperial. It's made in Hong Kong, but it is not an Imperial Chinosaur. These two guys, both the same. I think they're from... What's that show? Doctor Who. I think they're from Doctor Who. I think they're like rhinos with weird helmets, and I thought the helmets were removable, but it doesn't seem like they are. But anyway, 20p, I'll have 2 of them. This elephant, which is from a chap May, but when you push the button, he's like... "Rah, rah." So he probably meant to make a noise too, but needs a battery or something. This would have been the best thing in the box. This is the Schleich stuff. Schleich. I think it's missing its mouth. Or maybe it's meant to be like that, but I feel like it's missing something from its mouth. It's definitely missing wings as well. But it's one of their like fantasy guardian type character things that I really like. But yeah, missing bits. So for 20p, I'll see if I can find some bits. This dude who Binks seems to like. You like that one, Binks? I don't know what he's from. I guess Ben 10, but there's not a single marking anywhere on him. So maybe it's not from Ben 10. You play with that over there, Mrs. Binks. One more dinosaur. This one's Schleich as well. Schleich. And then I found 2 other little things. This, which I guess is a wrestler of some kind. And there was also a little Britain's mounted cavalry horse thing that was missing its dude. And I said to her, oh, look, I've got £2 worth and these 2 little things. And she went, oh, just have them. So I was like, yeah. That's what I was hoping you were going to say, love. Bought this nice little gemstone-y thing. He was £1. I think he was £1. Got given this by Mr. Lego himself. He just bought a box of like Lego flags and stuff. And I said, oh, that'd be nice for someone who plays Dungeons and Dragons, mate. If you know anyone who's looking for diorama bits for Dungeons. And he just went, yeah, here you go, mate. Just have it. Just have it. He wasn't interested in that. Found this Bop It. This is like a 2008, 2004 one. It does work. I don't know why it's not working now, but that was 50p. These people were selling these stick-on temporary tattoos. They said they were 50p each. They had like individual sheets of these that they wanted 50p each for, and then this whole pack full of them. So I was like, yeah, I'll have the whole pack for 50p, which they didn't seem to mind about. Bought this. Now, I have like a massive one of these. I forget what these are called, Komodo dragons or something. I have a huge one and a middle-sized one, and now I have a baby-sized one. He wanted £1 for that, and then he wanted £2 for the Game of Thrones stamps, and I was like, oh, forget the stamps then, mate. And then he said, oh, I'll just have the stamps for £1 then. I didn't realise it's actually 2 sets of Game of Thrones stamps. God knows if they're worth anything. But yeah, had both of those for £1. Bought this, The Haunted and the Haunters by Binks. No, Ghosts and Other Apparitions. That was 50p. I think this is quite funny. The Juvenile Branch Church of England something society. Here is to declare that I hereby agree with God's help to abstain from all intoxicating drinks and beverages as long as I retain this card of membership. Date 1892. My word. Had some age to it. So he wanted £1 for this. So I said, yeah, I'll have that. And I asked him how much he wanted for this. This is some sort of 101 Dalmatians napkin of some sorts. He wanted £1 for that as well. Does that have a date of production on there? Not one that I can make heads nor tails of. He also had a load of ephemera. Got it right for once. And I said, look, there's a few others that I'm interested in, but I'm not willing to pay £1 a piece for them. They're not that exciting. Some of them were literally pages torn out of a book, like with like diagrams and stuff on. So I was like, I'm not paying you £1 each for something you just tore out of a book, mate. Could probably walk around the corner and buy the same book for 20p. But if you want to do me a deal on like this stack of 8 other bits, then I might buy them. And he was like, oh, £5. I was like, nah, forget it, mate. I was gonna, I said £5 including these two, and he's like, no, 2 for those, 5 for that. I was like, oh yeah, forget that. So I bought a Captain Marvel graphic novel. That was only 50p. And I bought this from the same seller from 50p. I have no idea what it is. Some sort of arty-farty art book. Yeah, I'm totally clueless. I don't know what its value, if anything. But it seemed like it might be worth more than 50p, so I grabbed that. I also bought this Legoland Windsor teddy bear for 50p, in case I ever go there. And I bought this Iago for 50p as well. It is just a Disney one, not a Disney Store or Disneyland Paris. It's just standard Disney. And lastly, much to everyone's hype, a Furby new with the tags. Not in his box, obviously, and a little bit worse for wear. But considering, like, everyone was commenting on my videos last week, like, oh, do we ever find Furbies? Furbies never come up in the wild. Where are the Furbies? Oh, here's Furby. There he is. He was £2.50. So all in all, I think I spent about... I did top this up before I started the video. £1.50, £2.50, £5.50, £7.50, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12... 13, 14, 50, 15, 16, 17. There's about £17 there. 27, 28, 29, 30. About 30 quid at the car boot. And then 90 odd there. So there's about £120 spend out today. If you're interested. Mother also got a load of Doll's House stuff. Like bags and bags of Doll's House stuff for Mother, but that cost like 70 quid, so she's going to have to reimburse me for that. It's a long way to wait till Christmas or Mother's Day or whatever. So here we go. Here is today's video of rubbish and tat. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye!